Hi everyone, my name is Ryan and I'm the Midlife Skier. As a person who recently rediscovered skiing, I wanted to try out different types of skis to find the pair that I like best this season. I found out about the My Epic Gear rental program offered through Vail Resorts and realized it would be available at several of the Vail mountains I was planning on visiting this past season. Today I'm going to go over my experience using the My Epic Gear service. Let's get into it. So first of all, what is My Epic Gear? For the 2025-26 season, My Epic Gear was a ski rental program where you could choose and book the equipment you wanted to rent in the My Epic app on your smartphone. You could rent skis, snowboards, boots, poles, and even helmets if you wanted. A key feature here is that for skis and snowboards, you could pick the specific make, model, and length of your equipment ahead of time and book it. Another key feature of this service was that many locations offered slopeside pickup and drop-off, as well as getting an initial fitting and delivery at a location of your choice. So it could be off-site. You didn't have to come into the store to get your gear. They would bring it to you. It was really nice handing off your equipment at the end of the day, slopeside, and picking it up first thing in the morning, not needing to lug around skis and poles as you walk to wherever you're going, to the parking lot, to the condo, hotel, wherever. A final bonus was that the prices were very reasonable, especially for demo caliber equipment. It was about $50 per day, and I found that to be quite fair compared to the other places I rented from. I really liked being able to pick out and try different skis in the app. This allowed me to explore my preferences and different ski types and brands. I also like being able to book things in advance. I'm the kind of person that really likes things locked in ahead of time, and it really de-stressed my trips, knowing when, where, and what I would be skiing on. No more waiting to see, what's going to be in stock at the rental shop. The slopeside pickup and drop-off ended up being a massive luxury that I really enjoyed. When you're with your family and you're tired from skiing all day, you generally end up, as a dad, carrying more than just your own gear. It was so nice to be able to walk just 5, 10, 20 feet, hand off the gear, here you go, and then head for the hotel or condo. I think this was the feature also that friends and family that tried it along with me liked the best as well. First of all, the equipment condition was pretty spotty, and I think this is probably typical of most rental shops. But still, I mean, you're paying money and picking this stuff out. There's a membership fee. You kind of expect the equipment to be at least in decent shape. And in general, it was. Most of the gear I used was in good to decent shape, but a couple times I ended up with just really heavily used equipment and or untuned equipment. My daughter had problems with her skis at Beaver Creek towards the end of the trip. They just kept popping off. I think the bindings were messed up or something. And they just looked worn out, honestly. I also had a really badly out of tune pair of Mantra M7s that I rented at Keystone when I was there in March. Another issue I encountered was limited inventory at some locations. To guarantee the skis you wanted, you needed to book at least a few days in advance. And so what this did is it made it hard to swap skis during the trip, as you were stuck with what they had available, if anything. Certainly, if they had it, they were extremely friendly and happy to work with you to get you something different, but that's if they had it. If they didn't have it, oh well, you're out of luck. So it felt like they really, at different locations, maybe didn't have very good inventory, at least not to where they should have. The next thing was I talked about how great the slopeside drop-off and pickup was, but at times it was inconsistent. There were issues with it. It was different at every place. At Beaver Creek, Vail, Keystone, and Whistler, the location was on or next to the snow. But at Okemo and Stowe, it was actually at a storefront in the base village. So now the storefront wasn't far from slope, but not exactly slope side. Also at Whistler, one weird thing was the slopeside location was only open for a couple hours first thing in the morning and then a couple hours at the end of the day. And so usually we ended our ski day around 1 or 2 p.m. and it wasn't there. So we had to walk to the storefront anyway if you were trying to return or pick up the ski outside of this narrow window of when they had it available. Whistler was the only place we encountered this. All the others that had it, it was there pretty much all day as far as I could tell. In Vail, it was open the whole time, but the guy manning the booth would step out for extended periods. So you just kind of had to stand around until either one of the other attendants for a different service felt bad and would help you out, or when he would come back from wherever he was and whatever he was doing. So that kind of sucked. At most of the places, you had to get your initial boot inspection and binding confirmation done in the storefront or upon initial delivery. But one exception we discovered was that at Keystone, they actually did this at the Slopeside stand. So we went to the storefront to get the boot inspection done and to pick up the skis the very first day, but they're like, oh no, that's already up at Slopeside, which again was fine. It was actually more convenient. I just kind of wish we had known that. Would have saved us a little bit of a trip. But again, that's kind of a minor gripe. In the end, was My Epic Gear worth it? I think it was. I think the luxury of having the slopeside pickup was really nice. Being able to reserve specific kinds of gear in advance, I think was really cool. Again, the one downside of that was you lost some flexibility. So if the weather changed a lot during your trip, say it was Bluebird Groomers, but then there was a storm powder day and then back to Bluebird Groomers, well, your ability to swap into something different for that one storm day could be a little limited. So despite some grumbles and some issues and inconsistencies, I think actually it's a pretty good program. I would recommend it. Those in my family that tried it really liked it. I liked it a lot. It was so nice having that slope side. Now, Vail has announced that for the 2026-2027 season, they're making changes to My Epic Gear. We'll have to wait and see what exactly those are. I hope it's better. I hope it's more inventory and maybe a little wider availability, but we'll see. I'm hoping they don't break it because it's a pretty cool program and I really enjoyed it and I hope they keep it close to how it was. So anyway, those are my thoughts on the My Epic Gear program and I hope you have a great day.